Today we're finishing up our segment on Asian cooking. Remember that huge continent that we've been working on? Last thing we're going to make, I figured we'd finish it off with cabbage rolls. Yum. So really simple. These are Russian style. They're obviously cabbage is something they had a lot of, and they'd fill it with pork, they'd fill it with beef, they'd fill it with chicken or ground turkey, whatever they had, or even vegetables. Okay. Today we're going to do a beef one. Okay, so let's start. We're gonna use beef today. So I'm going to start with about a pound of ground beef. All right. This will be nice and simple. Right into the pan, and here we go. I've got the pan on. We'll put some oil in there. It's been warming up, so when we put it in there, we should hear, yes, the nice sound, the sizzle of sizzling product. Okay, so we break it up. Like I always like to say, the more surface area we have cooking, the quicker it's going to cook. And that won't take too long at all today. And while that's going, we're going to get some onion, and this you'll see is very similar to a recipe we did yesterday. The same kind of filling. We're going to use some onion. We're going to use some garlic. We'll use a little bit of dill, some fresh parsley, and then some rice. So it's going to be pretty similar. We made yesterday we made our meat pies. Today it's going to be almost the same filling, and it's going to be wrapped up differently. Okay, so let's just put those onions in there, get them going. We'll get some garlic, a couple cloves, get that skin off of there really quickly. Listen to that sound of people working in the kitchen. This is what it really sounds like. It's never quiet, ever, in a kitchen. It's always noisy. That's why I don't let a radio on, because it's distracting. Okay, got our garlic. I'm going to chop it up small. We're going to get it into that meat mixture there. All right, I think that's good enough. What do you guys think? Good? Yes, chef. All right, so we've got a little oil, we've got beef, we've got onion, and we've got garlic. And those are our seasonings for today. Well, our seasoning is actually going to be salt and pepper. And a little bit of dill weed. Okay, look at that. Nice, cooking along quite well. So we're going to add some dill. Like I said, Russia, they're known for having fields and fields of dill. I just made that part up, but it could be true. So let's add about a teaspoon of dry dill to that. And if you have fresh dill, by all means, fresh is good. Okay, I'm going to chop up a little bit of fresh parsley. That should do it. You don't have to get a really crazy small dice, but we get it diced up small enough that it will just spread out through the entire dish. Every bite will get a piece of dill. Okay, how am I going to do this? I'll move it over here. Everything's cooking very quickly. Now, often when these are made, what they do, they add rice that's uncooked, and then they'll add liquid to the cooking, whatever you're cooking it in, and it will take an hour and a half or so to cook it. We're going to add rice that's already cooked. It's almost like Uncle Ben's instant cabbage rolls, right? That's what I'm going for. We're going for the speed method. So we have rice that's left over. So instead of making stir-fried rice stir-fried rice today, we're going to make cabbage rolls. How's that? I just made that up on the roll. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of tomato sauce to this, and we're going to put about a cup of tomato sauce in here. And if we were going to add, there it is. If we were going to add some dry rice to it, then we'd also add some liquid in here too, but we are not going to. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, salt. So half teaspoon, I mean that was pepper, half teaspoon. Salt, we're doing about a teaspoon and a half. So that's half of a tablespoon, correct? That looks good. And so let's bring over some of our rice. So I'm going to add about a cup of course I didn't have any of my measuring utensils this morning. Somebody was in a hurry. That was me. So let's do a cup and a half of cooked rice. Voila. Now we have this wonderful mixture that just yells at you, I'm ready to be eaten, chef. Well, that looks good. See that? The meat should all be cooked through now. And if it's not cooked all the way through, it's all right because you're going to bake it in the oven and it will finish cooking. So that's our basic look right there. So I'm going to just give a little taste to make sure our seasoning is, oh, that's good. Good job, Richard. Well, thank you. Yummy. That's going to be really good in our cabbage. So, looky here. What's that? A head of cabbage. So what I did with this cabbage is I cored it. I left it whole, and I pulled out the very bottom core of it. I was going to show it to you, but I don't know what I did with it. It was there somewhere. So what we're doing, we're just steaming this. And see how we steam it? I have a pot of hot water boiling. I've got a steamer basket or steamer pan. And so I steam it. Whoo! Very caliente. So what I'm going to do now, we can just peel some of these off of here and see how they're nice and movable. They're, I would say, limp. And that's the word I'm going with. There we are. They're able, and we're going to be able to roll our cabbage rolls in these. So take a look at these. You might want to wait a minute or so for the cabbage to cool off a bit. But I like to live like Luke Kaboom. Everybody know who Luke Kaboom is from Toy Story 4? Daredevil. That's what I am. I'm a daredevil. Just like Luke. He's my favorite Toy Story character, by the way. Okay, so here we got 4 of these laid out. I have a pan that it's going to go into. We're going to bake it in here. So what I will do, I'm going to add a little bit of, I have some more crushed tomatoes here. We'll do a nice spread across the bottom of the pan. If you want to spray some pan spray in there, I'm going to make it a little easier to clean up in the long run. But I got a big crew of students here wanting to do dishes today, so I'm not going to worry about being really clean. All right, now what we'll do on each one of these, now this is what we call rolling a Russian burrito. It's basically the same thing as making a burrito. We roll it the same way, and then we pop it in our pan and we bake it. Okay, see how simple that is? You probably, if you get a spoon, this technique I'm using, the lazy chef didn't grab a spoon technique, don't go for it. All right, so we roll this up, take our ends, both ends, fold them in. What does that do? That seals everything in there, and we just finish our roll, just like that. That's a pretty good looking cabbage roll right there, if I must say so myself. Okay, once again, so I'm using the stem end to roll. Okay, because you don't want that big, bulky piece sticking up. Now what we do, we just roll down the line there. Let's do these last 2. We'll pop them in the oven. They're going to bake now since we used cooked rice. The instant cabbage roll, Uncle Ben's instant cabbage roll. We will be done with these before you know it. So we'll bake them probably for like 30 minutes. 30 minutes at most. 60 minutes if you want them really, really well done. Okay, so now you can see we're going to have a nice row here. We can kind of squeeze them in, and then we can get one more row here. We'll get them, we'll pop them in the oven. But by pure magic of television, we had some left over. I had some already made. So this is what we have. We baked these, we get them all done. We finish them with a little bit of our tomato sauce over the top, some parsley, and they're ready to eat, they're ready to go. That simple. Really quick dish. It's we don't make it very often at our house. Well, not a lot of meat eaters at my house, but it's so easy to do. You can use leftovers too. If you have like Sloppy Joe's leftover, throw some rice in it, roll it up. You can make all different flavors. Don't stick to my recipe. Be creative. Be the most creative person in town. That's what I like to hear. You'll be able to use up all this cabbage. See, that's how I just cut out that, and it makes it really easy for the cabbage to pull off like that, okay? So that was it, our quick, our minute rice, Uncle Ben's cabbage rolls. Sounds delicious. So get in the kitchen, sharpen those knives, keep the letters coming. Even got a video email yesterday of somebody just staring at the camera. Their eyes were like wide open. They just stared for a while. It's kind of creepy. And keep on cooking, because cooking is fun. It's what I do. It's what we all do.